Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today it's the man child. Okay, so finally got in my Kintaro from the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat series. I can't believe how beautiful his figure come out. He was announced a little over a year ago, maybe now, and kind of fell off the radar, so to speak. I didn't hear much about him. He was supposed to come out in December, kept getting delayed, and now he's showing up. I got mine on eBay in Japan. Had them shipped. Took a couple weeks to get them, but your best bet is to go on Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store and have pre-orders up. And I think they're slated for like end of July, September, somewhere around, which is around the corner, and you get a better deal in price. But moving on the back of our box, got some cool art. Got Kintaro all ready to go there. Now cool. What's cool is they give you 3 different heads. I like that Storm Collectibles and a bunch of hands. But with the heads, you get kind of the neutral grin, the in between growling face, and an open mouth. We get a fireball effect, which is neat, like the arcade, and even a stand for it. And I think he also comes with a spare pair of frozen hands and fatalities, I think, for the the Mortal Kombat 3 Unmasked Sub-Zero, which I do have. So we'll bring him in and play around with it once we get him out of the package. But yeah, just it's so cool to have Kintaro. Absolutely incredible. All right, we got our Kintaro out of the box. Give him a little look around the turntable. Oh my God, I can't believe we finally have just a perfect Kintaro figure out there in toy form now. And I mean, as good as it's going to get, it's perfect size, just the sculpt, the accessories, paint. Holy cow. He come out better than you could wish for. So before we get into Kintaro's articulation, the features and accessories and whatnot, I want to bring in Goro for a minute. Now, Goro sits in the back of my wall. You can see my creature wall of fame. And after the review, Kintaro's going to go there now because Goro's awesome, but Kintaro is #1 for me. And then these forearm Shokin monsters from MK. But as far as the height, he's about 9 3/4. Looks like close to 10 inches, maybe 9 3/4 of an inch. It looks like. I think Goro's around the same. Yeah, about that. And the hair goes up to 10. Now, another point I want to bring up too is that there is a lot of different tooling on them. The arm, some stuff in the arm, obviously the fists and the heads, but even in the bodies, I noticed there is different tooling in both the fronts. So it's not just the same. Because I was figuring when Kataro come out, it's basically gonna be Goro side the heads, hands and stuff, armor and whatnot. But no, it's not. It's actually different, which is cool. He's actually a little wider, and I like that because in MK2 he was really wide. So that's the front. Now, if you turn around in the back, you can see the same thing. Even the back looks completely different. Just the sculpting, the tooling. I like that. So I'm glad they went that route. It just isn't just another, yeah, Goro painted up, in tiger stripes. All right, bringing Kataro in for a closer look. Yeah, look at that head sculpt. Awesome. That's like the neutral grin. Okay, it's just no expression. We'll change the other heads out soon. But articulation, if you're not familiar with Storm Collectibles, it's crazy what they can do. With up and down, it can spin all around. As far as our arms, okay, in and out, it's just a big ball joint, can rotate. It's got bicep swivels, excellent articulation, the elbows, everything's pinless. I like that. Okay, same thing, it's just go in and out, spin. We got the wrist, the fist now. Now these are closed fists. Again, he comes with a bunch of different hands. We'll change them out. But yeah, spin and also on a joint. It looks like a ball joint, go in and out, and then it looks like they can come off. So you're going to pop the hands out like this. Pegs real easy. And you can even take all these silver bracelets. He comes with 4 different identical silver bracers, and all 4 can come off. That's pretty cool. In the bottom arms, okay, we can go up about that high before you hit the top arms, all the way down, forward, back. And these can do the same, obviously. Now, the upper chest it's rubbery, similar kind of like Goro. But I like the way it seems to be hidden better on Kintaro with the shoulder pads. But Goro was really sloppy in the back. It might have just been my figure. It was kind of warped. But they did a better job with Kintaro. And yes, the shoulder pads are, it looks like they're you could pop all the arms out if you wanted to get these, to remove these and pull them off. I'm just going to leave them on for now. But to get all this stuff off, they are removable. I don't see nothing in the strap itself. You would have to take the head and arms off to slide it off, it looks like. But yeah, it looks cool. It's like the arcade, the way they did it. Really neat. So taking a closer look at the shoulder pads and the chest harness. Now again, it looks like you could pop all these arms off to slide everything. I don't know. I know my Goro arms would pop out, and they're kind of a pain in the neck to get back in. So I'm not going to really mess with this. But if you're curious, these are just soft spikes. Really well done. Okay, painted in metallic silver. And even the chest harness, all like looks like a leather going all the way across. Straps, really cool. And then that centerpiece looks like a blade. I like how that's done. As far as our waist, okay, we can just spin left to right, and he has movement back and forth. And he also has up in the chest too, forward and back. Can't go too much forward with kind of an ab. But, oh, there it goes. Okay, so you can pop that forward. That looks pretty cool. Taking a closer look at Kintaro's back. Yep, it's just excellent. I love the way just the color that in the tiger stripes are painted on there. Again, here's our armor pieces from the back there. Got the cool straps again, and they're just all sculpted together. It's not like they separate. Real soft in here. You can see these pieces, and they also have these cool kind of like transition pieces that hide the gaps, depending on how you want to move the arms around. And these ones are sitting really well. Goro's was really sloppy. And again, I think it's because the rubber up here on my figure was really warped. Where Kintaro's is pretty cool how it's done. You can see how he can move. Again, the flexibility. Moving down here, so you can see our waist. Got the cool belt. If you spin it back around, now this does move. It doesn't look like there's anywhere for it to separate, but you probably heat it, slide it down over the legs if you wanted to. Again, it's not something I'm going to mess with. Got that cool yin-yang symbol. It looks like it's all part of this. I don't know if it's glued on. It looks like it's part of the sculpt, we'll call it. And moving on to our leg articulation. So the legs go all the way out like this. Pretty cool. Mine's really tight. You can hear them squeaking, but we can go all the way forward. I like that front kick, just like the MK2 when he used to kick you across the board. Like that. And go back about that far. Can bend all the way to the knee. Pretty much about that far. We're going to go up. It's got these cool, the steel knee pads, right? It's infamous in the MK2 game he has. Looks like they can come off. You want they'll glue it on or something. So if you want to pry them off, you could if you didn't like them, but I wouldn't do that. Leg can also rotate too, because they're on. You can see like they got like ball, kind of a hinge, but like it looks like a ball joint in there up inside the thigh. So yeah, you can spin, move all different directions. And then we go down to the shin here, and we go to our foot, and we can go up, down, spin side to side. Also on a rock, can rock back and forth like a little rocker. And then we also have the toe articulation. And the toes are all sculpted all as one. There's nothing individual with them. And they kind of go up and down. And the other legs are all the same. So checking out some of our accessories, we get 4 pairs of hands, which is pretty neat. Yeah, everything from a closed grip to a semi-open grip to and then a punch and fist, which we already have on the figure and box. We'll change some of these out and check them out. But yeah, you always get plenty of hands with Storm Collectibles figures, that's for sure. This is just a little closer look at some of the hands that are sculpted. Yeah, really cool the way the nails are done in that particular hand. And we got this one. It's the wider grip one, or the widest one they have. Pretty neat. You can pick up, yeah, I guess other figures would have by around the neck or the head or hold accessories. So I like how they're done. Pretty cool. And moving on to our extra heads. Yeah, that one looks, look at the detail on that. We got the angry face going there. Okay, mean grin. You got the teeth where the eyes are done. Then we got our screaming mouth, or the mouth we'll be using for the fireball. That one's cool. That's what I'm going to quit my figure with and leave it on. Look at the teeth, how it's all done in there. Yeah, the tongue, face, again, the eyes. I love them cat eyes. And just here's a quick comparison with all 3 heads together with the different expressions and sculpts. Check it out, see what's different. Got the open mouth, neutral grin, and the growling mouth. And we'll pop a different head. We'll pop the growling head on. Here's the ball peg if you're not familiar with it. The other head pops off. It's real easy. I'm just going to go on like so, and it should snap right down. Do some hand change outs. I already popped this hand off the peg. And if you're not familiar, these hands just go on. Sometimes with the Storm Collectibles, you got to like twist back and forth to get them to set. But that's how they would go on more or less. Okay, I threw a mixture of different hands on, I mixed them all around. It doesn't matter which hands go on the bottom or top, obviously. It all works. I mean, obviously the left and rights, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. And we got our growling face. I'm liking that. We'll bring that face in for a closer look on Kataro. Same thing, articulation's all the same. Back and forth, up and down, and so is our hands, in and out, spin. And I threw the open mouth on, or screaming head, and I put a couple fists back up in the top arms and just kept the semi-open hands on the bottom. I think that looks pretty cool. All right, we'll check that out. I mean, look at that stance. Just so cool looking how he came out. And here's a little closer look with the open mouth head. No articulation, all the same, back and forth, down and up. Check that out. And here we get is that fireball, his mouth projectile like in the game. So you kind of get that. Pretty cool looking. It's like a translucent yellow here and then paint it red in the back. Pretty heavy too. Then you get all these pieces you'll assemble and make the stand to hold the fireball up. So I'm going to put them together and we'll come back to that. And you're just going to assemble them piece by piece. All right, this will snap into that. And then there'll be one end different. Now there's a little hole in this fireball if you can see that. Okay, that's going to go. The smaller end will plug into that. And then you just build these up and then plug them into the base. And we got him with his arcade fireball effect. Now, I did have to use a Kaiser stand. I'm having a lot of trouble balancing him. He's really heavy and my joints messing around with him getting loose. So that's kind of a common issue with Storm Collectibles with all articulation, especially these big guys. And this too seems a little bit, it's funny. You actually get an extra one and it doesn't, how it should be a male and female connector. I got one with two males and it doesn't seem like I do, can't do anything with it. So I don't know if it's just a spare. But I did count on a box and it shows 5 of these linked and I got 5. But anyway, it's kind of cool. And this is more or less I think it's pretty arcade accurate because, again, it's what they're showing on the box. I had to switch a couple hands out, the positions. You know, you can use your imagination. It'll be perfect. But that's, for the most part, what it should look like. Pretty cool, though. I really like that. Okay, so as far as Kintaro's accessories, I think we went over everything. Now, I do have some other spare accessories that go with the Sub-Zero I was talking about at the beginning of the video. I'll bring them out in a second, but I just want to do a little size comparison with other Storm Collectibles, the Mortal Kombat Ermac. Look at the size of him, the height. Holy cow, they really beefed up Kintaro. He's just, look how big he is. I think he's a little too big. But pretty awesome, I'll say that. And for a little extra example of his articulation, got all 4 arms in action. Check that out. You know where that's going with Ermac. So let's do some other height comparisons I think will be fun. Because what's cool with having these big monsters like Goro, Kintaro, you know, it's cool to mix them with other lines, especially Master Universe. So here's our Kintaro next to our Flying Fists Classics He-Man. Check the size on that out. That looks pretty cool. Here we have our Kintaro next to the Masterverse or Master Universe Revelation Skelegod. Yeah, and I got a custom shield and sword for anybody who's familiar with this line. Came off Etsy. It's pretty cool, 3D printed, but that's kind of those two together for height comparison. Here's our Kintaro against our Revelation He-Man. I got an alternative head on him from the Barbarian He-Man. So those two together for height. And here we got our Kintaro next to the Revelation First Release Skeletor and the new Tila 2.0. The Masterverse. And we have our Kintaro next to our Super 7 Thundercats Mummer, the Ever Living form. Kind of those two together for height. And we got our Kintaro next to our McFarlane Spawn. It's a custom cape that came from eBay. And that's the Spawn from the Spawn Throne set. That's where I put the cape on. So kind of those two together. And here we have a size comparison with Kataro against the NECA. I think that's a Serpent Predator from the Predators line. He's pretty cool because the height, Predators are pretty big. Like, I guess 7-8 foot they stand in reality, you know, in the movies, but kind of those guys together. And we got our Kintaro next to our Storm Collectibles Shao Kahn. And we got our Shao Kahn in his cool throne. Our Kintaro by his side. Alright, we'll do 2 more. I got our Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat 3 Reptile with the chewing head, tongue coming out. It's kind of those two together. And for one last size comparison, got to get Montoro in here. So those two together. Yeah, Montoro's huge. Really cool. And for a little fun, we'll do a little quick shot of all 3 of our infamous sub-bosses from Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I think we went over Kintaro pretty well with all the accessories, his hands, heads, you know, the special moves, and yeah, a lot of comparisons. Just fun. You want to mix and match. But I think what's interesting too is you get a whole bunch of unique accessories that are meant to go with the Mortal Kombat 3 Sub-Zero, what I have out here. Now it looks like a pair of arms that you can you want to use on him when he turned his arms to ice, or maybe it could be part of the fatality. But you also get, and hands as well. But also a lot of different fatality effects to where I guess Kintaro will be ripping his hands, arms, and head off. So, and even some spare pieces here. But let's bring the stuff in for a closer look. So we get all these different style, open hands, closed hands, palm grip hands for the icy arms. You want to change your hands out. So you get all those. And here's our 2 alternative arms for Sub-Zero. Okay, you see the pegs, and again, are just Yeah, the ice translucent, and then our hands will pop off like that. We could change the other ones out. And we get a half of each of Sub-Zero's head for Kintaro's Fatality. Check that out, where he pulls it in half. There's a brain matter split down the middle. And then we get 5 different Fatality blood effects that, again, you would plug into Sub-Zero's, whatever character, any figure really, but the neck. Looks like the arms and I think the hands as well. I don't think they're for Kintaro. I think they're for the other figures. Here's the pair of icy arms on Sub-Zero. Just change them out, right? If you have that figure. I guess you can go on any Sub-Zero arms if you want, but they're meant for him. And I'll change a couple hands. I already put an open hand on the other side. And I'll just pop one on this side as well. Now, these pegs are really loose. You got to kind of like push it, work them on. Very similar to Kintaro's hands, but let's check out how it looks like. A couple different hands on the new arms. So moving on to some of these fatality effects. So I just popped the head off, and this one looks like, the head rip. Looks like there's a piece of spine in it. You would think it goes down here, but the body doesn't separate on him unless you, I don't know how else would come off. It doesn't look like it wants to or supposed to, but that's just going to pop on like so. So it looks something like that. And we'll give Sub-Zero a little head split fatality. So that's pretty cool. So I got both arms holding him. Now I'm having a hard time holding him up. My Kintaro is getting really sloppy in the joints, to be honest. But more or less, I just left the frozen arms on, kept the 2 open hands to hold them, put the blood effect on, and then the 2 pieces of hands, the heads that split, you're just going to, position them in. You can use a couple different types of hands. I put them in there, but check that out. Yeah, that looks creepy. Really cool. These other fatality, the blood effects, look like they're for the hands to me, so I'm just going to plug them in. I took the hands off Sub-Zero. I'll leave the frozen hands on, but like if Kintaro is going to rip off his hands or something, I guess it would kind of look like that. That's what I'm assuming they're for. And I tried the same ones that go on Sub-Zero's and one of the Storm Collectible Mortal Kombat figures' hands. I tried on Kintaro. I mean, you kind of push it on if you want to rip a couple of his hands off too, but they're not really meant for that. See the pegs, it doesn't hold like it does in Sub-Zero's hands, so I kind of want to show that. And then these other pieces are for the arm rip, so you're going to remove the arms and plug them right in like so, right? They got the ball pegs here. Just like that. And as part of the arm rip, you can also plug these on to the back of the ball pegs, so you put them up with the hands or back here as part of the effect. And then 2 of the hands will change out with the more closed or the claw gripping hands in order to hold the 2 arms for the arm rip fatality. And here's our arm rip fatality. Finish him. So that was exhausting. They give you a ton of stuff. I mean, between the fatality effects, the heads, the hands, the spare arms for that Sub-Zero if you have them. It's absolutely incredible job. This is definitely the figure of the year for me. I mean, if you played Mortal Kombat 2 in a day and spent the money and time I did on fighting Kintaro, or just seeing him as that, first time and those graphics as that sub-boss, it was just so chilling, and I couldn't get enough of fighting him. They did such an incredible job with this guy. You have to get him if you're if you missed out on Goro, or you like the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat, or even McFarlane Mortal Kombat. I mean, once in a lifetime figure, Kintaro, amazing. Now I got mine on eBay, as I said. I would definitely go now and pre-order from like Big Bad Toy Store, or Amazon. That's gonna be your best bet. You're gonna get the best cost, and they're probably around the corner. I think latest you'll get them September, October. If they're in Japan now, usually a couple months to get to the States for them retailers to get them. But #1 guy for me. So I hope they answer all your questions. I appreciate everybody watching. And until next time, take care.